Hi everyone, welcome back to Deep Dive Daily. All right, let's just jump right into it with a totally wild idea. We all know volcanoes are basically nature's giant incinerators, right? So, what if we just started throwing all of our trash in them? Is this a genius solution or a complete disaster waiting to happen?
On the surface, it sounds like a total no-brainer, right? We have a huge, and I mean huge, trash problem, and volcanoes are these massive fiery pits just sitting there. But is it really that simple? Today, we're going to figure out if this is a game-changing idea or just, a really bad one.
And just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about here, Americans alone produce 254 million tons of trash every single year. When you're dealing with a number that big, yeah, a giant pit of lava starts to sound pretty good.
All right, so let's get into it. Part 1, our brilliant trash plan. Let's break down why this idea seems so appealing in the first place, because you got to admit, it's tempting.
Okay, so right off the bat, we hit our first huge roadblock. You can't just pick any old mountain that's smoking a bit. Turns out, finding the right kind of volcano is a massive, massive challenge.
So get this, there are only about 1,500 potentially active volcanoes on the entire planet. And guess what? Most of them are super remote, like in the middle of nowhere. Can you even imagine the cost, not to mention the pollution, of just getting all our trash there? And on top of all that, it's not just any volcano that would work. We need a very specific kind.
So you have two main types. The kind we'd need are called shield volcanoes. These are the ones you see in movies with those cool, gently bubbling lava lakes. Perfect, right? The problem is they are incredibly rare. What's way more common are stratovolcanoes, and you can think of those as basically angry, explosive pressure cookers just waiting to blow. Definitely not a good place to be throwing stuff.
Okay, so moving on. Let's just pretend we solved all of that. We found the perfect rare volcano. Now what? What actually happens when the trash meets the lava? Well, this is where things get explosive.
And that's before we even throw anything in. Just getting close to an active volcano is insanely dangerous. You're dealing with poisonous gases, molten lava splattering everywhere, and literal projectile rocks being shot out. Seriously, this is not a safe work environment.
Now, you might be thinking, this is all just a fun what if, right? Nope. This isn't just theory. Back in 2002, a group of researchers in Ethiopia decided to actually put this to the test. So here's what went down. They took a 30-kilogram bag of organic waste, that's about 66 pounds, all the way up to an active lava lake. They chucked it in, and the cold trash, and yeah, it's cold compared to lava, pierced the surface.
And the outcome? Well, let's just say it wasn't a gentle splash. The results were, and I quote, explosive. We're not talking a little fizzle here. We're talking a full-on, violent eruption from the lava lake.
So why did that happen?
Well, it turns out that introducing something relatively cold and wet, like garbage, to a super hot body of lava is a really bad idea. It instantly flashes any water into steam, which triggers this huge pressurized chain reaction of acidic vapor. Think about shaking up a soda can and then throwing it into a fire. Now imagine that but with millions of tons of trash. It would be an absolute catastrophe.
Okay, so explosions, check. Super dangerous. But let's say, and this is a huge leap of faith, that we could somehow survive all that. The problems don't stop there. Now we have to talk about the toxic aftermath.
So instead of fixing our trash problem, we would just create a whole bunch of new, even worse ones. We'd be creating massive air pollution because there are no filters on a volcano. A lot of our trash, like metals, wouldn't even burn. They just mix with the magma and create this toxic sludge that would eventually erupt and poison the land for miles. And again, don't forget about the massive carbon footprint of just getting the trash there in the first place.
So, after all of that, it's time for the final verdict on our brilliant plan. Let's see how it scores on the report card. Yeah, it's not looking good. For logistics, a big fat F. It's totally impractical and way too expensive. For safety, another F. It's explosive and deadly. And for the environment, you guessed it, a massive F. A complete toxic disaster. So yeah, this idea gets a failing grade across the board.
So, okay, dumping our trash in a volcano is officially a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad idea. But it does get you thinking, right? If we can't get rid of it on Earth, what if we just shot it all into space? Now that's a thought for another day.
And that's a wrap for today. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this, share it around, and subscribe for more. Drop a comment below with your views. See you tomorrow at the same time.